Hesi A2 Biology. Question 1. Which organelle is responsible for ADP production through cellular respiration? Nucleus, ribosome, mitochondrion, Golgi apparatus. Mitochondria generate ADP via cellular respiration using the electron transport chain and Krebs cycle. The nucleus stores DNA, ribosomes synthesize proteins, and the Golgi modifies proteins, none of which produce ADP. Question 2. During protein synthesis, which molecule carries the genetic code from DNA to the ribosome? tRNA, rRNA, mRNA, DNA polymerase. mRNA transcribes the DNA sequence and carries it to ribosomes for translation. tRNA brings amino acids, rRNA forms ribosome structure, and DNA polymerase replicates DNA, not carries genetic messages. Question 3. In a hypertonic solution, what typically happens to an animal cell? It swells and bursts. It shrinks due to water leaving. It remains unchanged. It undergoes mitosis. Water exits the cell in a hypertonic solution, causing shrinkage, crenation. Swelling occurs in hypotonic solutions, no change in isotonic, and mitosis is unrelated to tonicity. Question 4. Enzymes speed up chemical reactions by lowering what form of energy? Kinetic energy, thermal energy, activation energy, electrical energy. Enzymes lower activation energy, the energy needed to start a reaction. They don't directly alter kinetic, thermal, or electrical energy, though reactions may release heat. Question 5. Which phase of mitosis is characterized by chromosomes aligning at the cell's equatorial plate? Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Metaphase chromosomes align at the metaphase plate. Prophase condenses chromosomes, anaphase separates sister chromatids, and telophase reforms nuclei. Question 6. The process of converting glucose into pyruvate producing a small amount of ADP is called what? Krebs cycle, glycolysis, electron transport chain, fermentation. Glycolysis splits glucose into pyruvate in the cytoplasm, yielding net 2 ADP. Krebs cycle and ETC occur in mitochondria. Fermentation follows glycolysis without oxygen. Question 7. How many daughter cells are produced from a single parent cell after meiosis 1 and 2? 2, 4, 8, 1. Meiosis produces 4 genetically unique haploid cells. Mitosis produces 2 identical diploid cells, not 8 or 1. Question 8. Which nitrogenous base is found in RNA but not in DNA? Adenine, guanine, cytosine, uracil. Uracil replaces thymine in RNA, pairing with adenine. Adenine, guanine, and cytosine are shared by both DNA and RNA. Question 9. A cell placed in a hypotonic environment will likely gain water until what occurs? Plasmolysis, crenation, cytolysis, bursting, active transport. Animal cells swell and may burst, cytolysis, in hypotonic solutions. Plasmolysis occurs in plant cells, crenation in hypertonic, active transport is energy-dependent movement. Question 10. Which organelle primarily functions in detoxifying harmful substances and synthesizing lipids? Rough ER, smooth ER, lysosome, peroxisome. Smooth ER detoxifies drugs/poisons and synthesizes lipids. Rough ER makes proteins, lysosomes digest waste, peroxisomes break down fatty acids and hydrogen peroxide. Question 11. Crossing over during prophase of meiosis increases what biological phenomenon? Genetic mutation, genetic diversity, aneuploidy, binary fission. Crossing over exchanges genetic material between homologous chromosomes, increasing diversity. Mutations change DNA sequences, aneuploidy is abnormal chromosome number, binary fission is prokaryotic division. Question 12. What name is given to the specific region where RNA polymerase binds to initiate transcription? Exon, intron, promoter, terminator. Promoter is the DNA sequence where RNA polymerase binds to start transcription. Exons are coding regions, introns are non-coding, terminators stop transcription. Question 13. Which of the following processes requires a carrier protein and energy, ATP, to move substances against their concentration gradient? Diffusion, osmosis, facilitated diffusion, active transport. Active transport uses ATP and carrier proteins to move against gradients. Diffusion and osmosis are passive, facilitated diffusion uses carriers but no ATP. Question 14. During fermentation in human muscle cells, pyruvate is converted into which compound? Ethanol, acetyl-CoA, lactic acid, citric acid. Human muscle cells convert pyruvate to lactic acid during anaerobic fermentation. Yeast produces ethanol, acetyl-CoA enters Krebs cycle, citric acid is part of Krebs. Question 15. A nucleotide consists of 3 parts, a phosphate group, a sugar, and what other component? An amino acid, a fatty acid, a nitrogenous base, a glycerol molecule. Nucleotides contain phosphate, sugar, deoxyribose/ribose, and nitrogenous base. Amino acids are protein monomers, fatty acids and glycerol are lipid components. Question 16. Which cellular structure is responsible for assembling ribosomal subunits? Nucleolus, nuclear envelope, ribosome, centriole. Nucleolus inside the nucleus assembles rRNA with proteins into ribosomal subunits. Nuclear envelope controls transport, ribosomes synthesize proteins, centrioles aid division. Question 17. The second stage of aerobic respiration occurs in the mitochondrial matrix and is known as the what? Glycolysis, Krebs cycle, citric acid cycle, electron transport chain, pyruvate oxidation. Krebs cycle occurs in the matrix, oxidizing acetyl-CoA. Glycolysis is cytoplasmic, ATC on inner membrane, pyruvate oxidation links glycolysis to Krebs. Question 18. If a DNA strand has the sequence 5' ATGCCGTA3, what would be the complementary mRNA sequence? 3' WAGCA5, 5' WAGCA3, 3' TAGCA5, 5' at GUGTA3. mRNA is complementary, AU, TA, GC, antiparallel, and uses uracil. Option A matches 3' UACGGCAU5, which pairs with the 5' -3 inches DNA strand given. Question 19. Which organelle contains hydrolytic enzymes that break down worn-out cell parts and pathogens? Vacuole, lysosome, ribosome, nucleus. Lysosomes are digestive organelles with hydrolytic enzymes. Vacuoles store materials, ribosomes make proteins, nucleus holds DNA. Question 20. In the scientific method, a proposed explanation that can be tested through experimentation is called a what? Theory, hypothesis, law, observation. A hypothesis is a testable proposed explanation. Theory is well-supported broad explanation, law describes natural phenomena, observation is raw data.